What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, we're going to be discussing 8 SPAC picks that I like for 2021. Now, this means that the mergers and business combinations will be completed in 2021, but this doesn't necessarily mean that I am buying all of these SPACs right now at their current prices, but it just means that I feel like they have a bright future ahead. So you won't see any direct EV SPACs in this video, and that's just because I feel like those have been covered so much, especially on YouTube, and I wanted to switch it up a bit. Not to say that Arrival or Lion Electric don't have bright futures ahead, I just would need them to prove themselves a bit before really getting into those EV plays, especially with just how many EV companies are out right now. But my main EV plays are Tesla and NIO. And, I'm not saying to buy into any of these right away because oftentimes SPACs get multiple pullbacks. For example, TPGY, this one just shot up overnight like 100%. And I said in my video, please don't go chase this. Please don't buy it. And now you look here today where it's at and you're going to have multiple opportunities to buy into these. That's basically what I'm saying. So that's why I avoid chasing. And I just want to tell you guys my favorite SPACs for 2021. But before we get into it, if you don't mind dropping the video a like and hitting subscribe, it definitely helps out the channel. And check out the links in the description to the free Discord server and my Webull referral link where when you sign up all the way through December and deposit $100, you get 4 free stocks right now. And it's pretty much free money. Now let's get into it. So first up, we have ticker symbol BFT. And I recently did a video on them if you want to check that out. But this is going to be Paysafe. And they'll trade under the ticker symbol PSFE when the deal goes through. So I think this is a really cool company with a bright future ahead. This is going to be a $9 billion SPAC deal backed by Bill Foley, and this should close in the Q1 of 2021. Paysafe is a leading global payments provider focused on digital commerce and iGaming transactions. As you guys know, I'm pretty bullish on iGaming, and I love the digital payments. I'm a big investor of Square, and I definitely think digital cash and e-wallets is the way of the future. I just think that is definitely where we're going. Paysafe also has a huge customer base like Roblox, YouTube, Twitch, and Fortnite. And the company estimates that its 2021 payment volume will hit $103 billion. Revenue of $1.5 billion is estimated for fiscal 2021 by the company. And Paysafe said revenue will grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 11% from 2020 to 2023, which I think is pretty good. So I have bought into this SPAC, and I bought in after the initial pop when it was around $12 because I personally felt like that was still very limited downside risk, and I really did like the investor presentation and everything I saw. As of today, they did have kind of a rough day, but still in the 13s. I would say anything around 1350 or less would be a good buy, but like I said, no rush. You're probably going to get multiple chances to buy in, and we could have some volatility and red days in the market. So SPACs could take a hit and present a nice buying opportunity. Next up, we have ticker symbol SBE. This is ChargePoint, and we've talked about them quite a bit, and I know a lot of other YouTubers cover this stock as well. But this is a $2.4 billion SPAC deal. Now, I'm bullish on ChargePoint, and I believe this is one of the best stocks to come from a SPAC. And there has been confusion on the merger, but I do believe this is going to close in Q1 of 2021, although nothing has been set in stone. So although ChargePoint has pulled back a bit, this shouldn't discourage you from liking the stock and seeing a bright future with the company. I really like ChargePoint, and if it pulls back into the 20s or less, I will definitely add some more shares. I do see, a really bright future with them, and they have shot up a lot this year, so profit taking is normal. A lot of people bought into ChargePoint when it was in the $13 range to $15 range, so yeah, a lot of people are just locking in profits because of the post-merger scare, or they're just moving money around before the year ends. So an analyst by Bloomberg New Energy Finance revealed that by 2040, electric cars should make up 57% of all passenger car sales worldwide, and that's a 2% increase over the 2040 projection reported last year. So I do see a lot of growth ahead with them, mini branding opportunities as well, and like I said, if it pulls back below the 30s, I think that would be a great buying point. Next up, we have LGVW. This is Butterfly Network, and they will trade under the ticker symbol BFLY when this is all said and done in Q1 of 2021. This is a $1.5 billion deal, and I do think this is disruptive. It's very simple, but very useful. I don't think this replaces sonograms completely, but I do believe this tool will be used, just how accessible it is, and it's much cheaper and easy to use. So the company has raised more than $400 million from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and other investors. and has shipped over 30,000 of its smartphone connected devices. I think with Bill Gates behind it, it's destined to do well. And we also know that ARK Invest has bought in, which is always a great sign. The company views itself as the middle ground between Teladoc, Optum, and Amazon, which I'm invested in Amazon and Teladoc. I like both of those companies a lot. And that's just to cite a few names from their pitch deck, and expects that its estimated $115 million of 2020 revenue will balloon at a 74% compound annual growth rate to $346 million in 2022. So that is some nice growth right there if they can actually make that happen. Now, I like LGVW under $14.50. It's been very solid around that $15 to $15.50 mark. I haven't really seen it come down below that, just from the days that I've been checking it. Now, I think that's a solid price, and if it were to drop into the $11 to $13 range, I would probably load up a lot. But like I said, it's been pretty stable. Next up, we have ticker symbol DMYD. This is Genius Sports, and this is a $1.5 billion deal that should go through by the end of Q1 of 2021 and trade under the ticker symbol GENI. So essentially, they make sports betting possible by providing all of the data. It provides data on 240,000 events a year, and it's also the official provider for at least 170,000 of those events. They have agreements with sports leagues such as the MLB, NBA, NASCAR, and more, and they provide data for the sports betting sites. So I like what someone said about this. They said it's a behind-the-scenes pick and shovel online sports gambling play. So similar to like the gold rush, you're the one selling the shovels, you're not, mining the gold. So no matter who wins in the sports betting, industry, whether it's DraftKings, Penn, whoever is number one, it doesn't matter because Genius Sports is going to be there collecting the data as the middleman. So it's not the sexiest SPAC out there, but I think it's worth watching, and around $12 or less, I think could be a good buy. We do have a lot of time for all these SPACs, especially this one said by the end of Q1. So, I'm just going to be watching it for now. I am not in this play, but I do find it very interesting. Next up, we have ticker symbol PSTH. Still no target here, but I'll be watching this one heavily. This is a $4 billion SPAC deal, and this is my personal bet on Bill Ackman bringing an awesome company public. Now, he wants something family-owned with predictable cash flows that's mature, massive, and a leader in their field, and still growing, at least from the interviews that I've seen. Now, I bought into this when it was near the floor, around $20 to $21. So since then, it has shot up a bit more. There's a bit more risk now, but I still think, under $25 is a buy. And it was rumored that it could have been Stripe. It could have been a couple other ones. I personally don't think Stripe will go public through a SPAC, although I would love that because I am very bullish on Stripe whenever they do go public. So they do have a little bit of time. I'm excited to hear about the announcement, and I'll definitely be watching this one. Next up, we have ticker symbol BTWN, very similar to PSTH. There's no official target yet. This could be Tokopedia, which is an Indonesian technology company specializing in e-commerce. It was founded in 2009, and I just did a video on them, but they're calling it the Indonesian unicorn. Brishan Holdings has the backings of billionaires Richard Lee and Peter Thiel, which is huge, and this could have a value as high as $10 billion in the SPAC transaction. So if this were to become a definitive agreement, I'd be really interested in it. But as of right now, I think if it were to come back down to $12 or less, that would be attractive and limit your downside risk. So if they don't announce something for, a couple weeks or months here, then maybe the hype will die off and we'll see the price come down again. Number 7, we have ticker symbol THBR. This is Indie Semiconductor, and this is a $1.4 billion SPAC deal going down in the first quarter of 2021, and they'll trade under ticker symbol INDI. Now, they're currently trading around $10.63, so the risk is very limited because they have that $10 floor, as we all know. So that is a positive right here. This is one that I haven't even done a video on, and I just started looking into it, but some things did catch my eye. So Indie Semiconductor is a leading pure play provider of next generation semiconductor and software solutions for the rapidly growing auto tech market. It says here, Indie is at the forefront of disruptive automotive megatrends spanning ADAS, autonomous, connectivity, user experience, and vehicle electrification. Today, Indie's automotive semiconductor portfolio addresses a $16 billion market, according to IHS, which is expected to exceed $38 billion by 2025, driven by strong demand for silicon and software content in automobiles. Indie's best-in-class mixed-signal system solutions are currently on 12 Tier 1 approved vendors lists, contributing to a strategic backlog position for more than $2 billion, defined as projected revenues based on existing contracts, design and pricing teams, and historic production trends. I think this is another interesting SPAC, and I have yet to cover it on my channel, but if you guys want more info on this, just let me know. I did want to hop over to their financials really quickly, and I was pretty impressed by this. Their total revenue, it's looking really good, growing year over year. Everything is positive. In my opinion, everything looks really good except for their EBITDA, which will eventually be positive here in a couple of years. But that doesn't bother me too much because I know that these newer companies are pouring back into their companies and focused on growth. But I was pretty impressed by their margins, the growth year over year, profits constantly increasing. So, I did like it, and I liked their investor presentation from what I was looking through. Last but not least, we have ticker symbol Apxt. This is AvePoint. This is a $2 billion SPAC deal going down in Q1 of 2021, and this will change to ticker symbol AVPT when the deal is completed. Now, this one did pop off at the end of November, went from like $10 to $11 all the way to $15.30, and since then it has come back down a bit. I believe this morning it did touch the 13s, which, I think that's a decent buy. Anything under $14, I would recommend. So what they do, they are core innovators who push the boundaries of the Microsoft 365 and digital collaboration space. They have explosive data growth, increasing data regulations, shifts to the cloud, hypergrowth of Microsoft Teams, where all trends that fueled their growth prior to the pandemic. The impacts of the pandemic have greatly accelerated these trends, and the deal with Microsoft, in my opinion, is huge, and they have developed, technology, relationships, a platform, all focused around providing more value than any other company could, and really clinching that Microsoft deal. There are 212 public software companies, and AvePoint is one of the 5 that is growing at a rate of more than 25% revenue while maintaining a higher than 10% EBIT margin. Just like the last one, I haven't covered this one on the channel just because there's so many SPACs and, I haven't noticed all of these, but I really did like what I've seen with this one. Their financials impressed me a lot. You can see their total revenue and gross profit has grown massively the last 3 years, and they're projecting to continue that growth in the years forward, which is very positive. Margins will increase, percent of revenue, percent of growth. Everything is just going to keep increasing and getting better. So that is pretty positive. Now, I think under $14 for this one is a pretty good deal. However, given the current time of the year and how hyped SPACs are right now, I'm going to just be patient. And when I see entries, I'll nibble here and there. I'm not going to go all in on these. I think in the coming months, we could have, SPACs cool off a bit and we could get some attractive buying opportunities. So it's just all about being patient. At least that's my take on it. But it definitely depends what kind of person you are. If you are buying into this holding long term, I guess it doesn't really matter. But even if I want to hold it long term, I still like getting attractive buying opportunities. That's just how I am. So that's pretty much it. I just covered 8 SPACs that I like for 2021. I'm not invested in all of them, but I will definitely be watching them. And I would love to hear what you guys are watching for 2021. So please like and subscribe, and have a good one.